Hey, good morning, everybody. I was on a job with a guy just a couple days ago and got mocked fairly relentlessly for using this Model T Steampunk technology. But I kind of won the argument because he ran out of power in his power drill and I kept right on going. So I thought I'd show you guys this and just sort of preach the gospel of this old school tech. This is called this way of drilling is called a brace and bit. This is the brace, these are the bits. These augers, as they're known, are kind of they're beautiful objects all of their own. Sculptors should love this. It's got the helix for carrying away waste, but the way it works is unlike a conventional drill that it's used with a power tool. These have a screw on the front called a snail, and this tapered screw bites into the wood and pulls the auger forward. As it rotates, these slicers on the side cut a cylindrical hole, and these chisels shave it out. So you just continuously slice a ring and shave the stuff out as the drill is dragged forward. And you do have to put some weight behind it. Not necessarily too much, because the snail is providing a lot of the forward pressure. But if you don't put some weight behind a larger one, it'll just strip out the threads, and then the snail is no longer helping you. But anyway, let's put this in here, and I'll just bore a hole or two with it, and let's compare it to the... Here's a quick close-up of some of the cutting tips. Some have dual cutters on the side to cut the cylinder, different pitch of threads on the snail, but they're all kind of similar. Beautiful things, though. Compare it to the conventional way of doing this, which is for modern people. This is a 3/4 inch spade bit. I think I'll put a 3/4 inch auger in there so we have a fair comparison. But there's a 3/4 inch spade bit. It's really just, it's kind of a nasty little thing in comparison. I mean, check out the beauty of the old ones. This is a flat, it's a rod forged, banged flat and forged into shape with two little sharp tips and a kind of a quasi chisel here to shave away the waste as this just flat point guides it into the wood. Now they do work for sure. They're not bad, but let's just do some pluses and minuses here. So I think I've got I think this is the same size. Yeah, this looks like a 3/4 inch auger. It's a little newer. I think I actually have 2 or 3 of these that I paid for like 100 years ago. Well, not 100, but probably 50, when I was just starting out. But other than that, they're all free. I got them like junk piles. Nobody uses them anymore for reasons that sort of escape me. I don't know why nobody uses them, because they're wonderful. But let's give this a try. First, spade bit, fair trial. You notice I felt down at the bottom a couple times to see if the tip was popping out, because with any of these, whether you're using a spade bit or a bracing bit, you want to make sure that you flip the wood over and drill from the other side. Otherwise, you'll end up just blowing out a big chunk as the drill pushes through. That's standard procedure with any boring operation. But now let's try it with an auger. First of all, the sound is nice. Not that whiny, awful electric sound. I'm through. This is actually faster. This was faster than doing it with a modern tool. Amazing. For a 3/4 inch hole, that was not an incredibly large amount of work either. That was just, you know, anybody could do that. So it made a very decent comparable hole. Now usually the edges are actually cleaner. These edges are a little rough, I think because the wood there's a spot in the wood. But let's move on. So just as fast, just as powerful. Now these bits obviously are a much nicer, higher end. But nowadays they're essentially free. Let's try it. Let's bore a significantly bigger hole. I think we're going to try this one, even though it looks not quite as sharp. They're a pain in the neck to sharpen. Just takes a couple of minutes, but they sharpen reliably. They're not. It takes longer to sharpen a little bit than a conventional twist drill, but they're easy. You get more consistent results with less skill. So now we're into a bigger hole. This is an inch, I think. Look at that. It's going so fast, I want to make sure I can just blow through the bottom. Look at that. You couldn't have done better with the power drill. And that's a good sized hole. That's a lot of wood. You can also, these things tend to run long. You can also, I could drill all the way through this end to end. Couldn't do that with a spade bit. Anyway, now, that's nice, but you do need a pretty good sized collection of augers. Easy to come by. But let me show you this, because this is sort of the secret ace in the hole. Is it the missing spade bit is always the one you need. If you have one of these come with usually 2 or 3 different teeth in here. Watch this. Loosen the back, and this little thing here adjusts this tooth. So basically I have an infinitely adjustable auger. Right here. I'm just going to set it for a random size that's about, looks like 1 5/8. It's bigger than any of the holes I've drilled so far. Now, that means that if you can have your set of augers, and as long as you have one of these, you'll always have whatever size you need. Now, these are not really great for, they're not as good as an auger for just every hole you want to drill. It's better if you're drilling with 3/4 inch holes to have 3/4 inch auger, but they come in a variety of sizes. This one's set to quite a small size for it. This is 1 3/4 inches. This is set to drill now, but if I slide this out, it'll go all the way out to 3 inches. Now 3 inches is getting pretty athletic to bore a 3 inch in diameter hole. And it takes a little bit of skill because this only has one arm swinging around. So if go like this, it'll tend to dig in and be very hard to turn and raggedy and maybe even break your bit. But with a little bit of practice, you can actually bore a 3-inch in diameter hole, which is, you're getting into real money to buy a 3-inch in diameter Forstner bit to drill. You know, if you just have one hole for, say, a lock set or building some piece of sculpture, and you just need to bore one hole through it to clear some wood or something. This is these are a miracle, because it's every size you need in sizes that will cost you $20 or $30 per bit. So let's just slap this in here and see what happens. This is noticeably bigger than the hole we were drilling a minute ago, or boring, I should say. The kind of people who use augers instead of spade bits are the kind of people who get really upset if you call them the wrong thing. These aren't drills, they're augers. So be warned. You're getting into an unsavory class of people when you deal with these sorts of things. But let's just see how this works. Now, I don't use these a hell of a lot, because I'm not really doing a lot of fine woodworking anymore. But so that the sharpness is sort of catch as catch can. And I haven't set this up really. Yeah, but look at that, smoking. And you do have to be careful to go straight in and not adjust your angle, or you'll, and they can clog up a little bit, especially as they get deeper. So you may have to do what I'm doing now, which is back up a quarter turn once in a while to clear the chips. But as you can see, that is freaking perfect. If you wanted to counterbore holes for to sink nuts below the surface of your work table, anything like that, things are perfect. Anyway, that's pretty much all there is to say about these things. I highly recommend them. I think they're great. I think they're a beautiful object to work with. They're pleasant. They don't make that awful sound, and they're highly competitive in terms of speed with spade bits. They're just about as fast, especially if the holes are, under an inch, inch and a quarter, that range, and they're just a joy to use. So I highly recommend these. I think you should haunt your local flea markets and garage sales and buy yourself a real nice set of these, and maybe I'll do one on how to sharpen them. They're not difficult to sharpen, they're just a little tedious. But once you're good at it, like anything else, it just takes. Yeah, I thought I'd show one last thing, because and this is something really cool about these about a brace and bit, is that they do more than drill holes. About 20 years ago or so, I made myself a boat, a 22-foot long sailboat. I'm no kind of boat maker, and I'm certainly no kind of sailor. I'd never really been in a boat before. As part of the project, I had hundreds and hundreds of these six-inch lag bolts to run in, and man, try running these in with it takes like 20 minutes to drive one of these guys. But I very quickly discovered that I could do this. Just put a little hex head socket wrench in here. These guys are like everything else I ever do. These are totally available at the big box store. And pop it on here. Pre-drilled that hole. you may say, well, yeah, I could do that with my power drill, and indeed you'd be right. But you can't do hundreds of them with your power drill because you wear out the battery at about 3 of these legs, and you just burn up battery packs like crazy. You need like a hand truck full of charged batteries to do this all day. But this is almost as fast and as doing with power drill, and you never run out of batteries, and you can do it out in the boatyard when you don't have any power. I was basically assembling this boat. I built the boat in the basement. Here's how, you do it like this, a little bit faster. And it seems great, but do 4 or 5 of these and then go charge your battery, and do 4 or 5 more and go charge your battery. This thing is awesome for that, and you can just do it all day long. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that last little bit out. You can turn all kinds of things with them that they were never designed to turn. Like you can even put a spade bit in it if you want to. They don't have the right kind of chuck for this. These are supposed to take a tapered chuck, but if in a pinch, pretty much anything you can turn, you can turn in the air. And there you go. Anyway, until next time.